Hi, everyone. Thank you all for coming to my workshop. I know a lot of questions weren't answered in the workshop. I didn't go more into details on the basics of Google Site and Wix. I'll be creating a separate video for Wix, but for this video, I'll be looking at Google Site and how to navigate around the basics of Google Site. So how do you get to Google Site? All you do is basically when you open up your fresh Google page, you want to type in Google Site in your search bar. For me, it's already typed because I searched it previously. And I click search button and it brings me to the search results. And it will be the first thing that you look at if you say Google Sites and sign in. And just make sure your address bar is always sites.google.com. That way, you know it's a Google site and Google applications. And I come right here. And this gives me options to create a brand new blank site page or choose one from the template gallery. I personally prefer picking something from the template gallery if you can. But if nothing kind of suits your taste, definitely feel free to create a blank page. For today's example, we'll be looking at the template gallery. So we have a lot of options here. There's options for work. You can create things for your events or project. We have small businesses. You can create something for your restaurant, salon, advertise a holiday party, or create something for your education. Like teachers can create a class web page, or students can create a student portfolio web page. So I'm just gonna create a student portfolio web page. So I'm just gonna click right here. And once you're giving it a second, and it should bring up to the template that's already in Google Site. And everything from here on out is pretty much editable to your taste. So whatever you want to change, you can change right here. I'm just going to show you the settings for a second before we edit anything in Google Site. All the settings that you want to edit, let's just say you want to delete something, are going to be on the left side. So you can see the trash can on the left side popping up. You can see the change image, reset, or header type button, and they're all on the corners. Again, when I move my cursor to About Me, you can see the paint box. You can see that I can duplicate this section, or I can delete this section. Again, when I scroll down under achievements, when I put my cursor in achievements, you can see I can change the colors, duplicate selections, or delete this section. And because this is a template, not all the pictures are here, so you can edit them in as well. But I'm right here, and let's just say I want to create my own text box. On the right-hand side, you can see we have options for all of that. We have insert. We can navigate through by pages. We can go to different sections of pages, or we can choose themes for this specific page. Let's just say I like the template, I don't like the theme, so I want to change the color of the theme. I don't like this blue vibe. I can change it to green and change the whole template to a green vibe. Or I want to change the whole template style on itself. So I can go through all of these. Let's just say I love this one. And I want this to be red. I can click red. I want this to be blue. I can click blue. or I want this back to black, I can click back. And you can also edit your font style right here. You can create it classy. I'm going to click on light, makes everything light, or heavy, makes everything extra bolded. Just going to go back to classics again. And let's just say you don't like any of these colors. You can always click on this and choose a color for yourself. So everything here is editable. So if you don't like any of these style templates, you can always create one from Google. And yeah, and once I go to pages, I can edit certain pages. I don't want to edit home. I want to edit classes. Everything here is blank. I can insert anything in here I want. I can go to activities. And again, I can edit all this by going back to themes. I want this specific page to be a different theme. So I can click right here and that changes the look of the page. But if you're going into more in depth of how you want things to be, you want to add more text, or you want to add more pictures, you can go to insert, where you can change the layout of the web page. So right now, I don't like my layout. I can change it like this. And that gives me a new layout. I can click on a text box, and that would give me a new text box, and I can write more descriptions right here. Let's just say, I love making videos. You know, you can write whatever you want. You can make this a header. You can make this a title. You can center this. I'm just going to get rid of the period right here. You can bold this. Just going to select it by dragging it and select making videos. Or you can change the font right here. I don't like this font. I want to make it Arial. So you want to always select it actually. And there you go. So yeah, everything is changeable, and you can always change the table of contents buttons. You know, you can make a collapsible group. That gives you more option right here. Or you want to insert image carousel. Just say buttons, insert a button. And you can even redirect someone that's on this Google site page to a YouTube video per se, or even another website. You can always name it my page and share the link right here. You can also link it to any of the pages in there, but you don't have to. You can link it to some other website yourself. So let's just say I want to put in the Google Blogger site. I'll just say I want to put this. I can always select it, copy, and paste the link right here and insert it. So now this pops up. Make it bigger. Make it even. And people can click right here and go to the site that I inserted. And let's just say I don't like the layout because I want the options for classes, activities, all more accessible to me. Instead of clicking these 3 lines right here, I want it on the top or somewhere else that I can click just by one click. I can go to the settings, navigation settings right here, which is on your left top hand corner. And this gives me a lot more settings into mode. So instead of having it in a slide, I can make it top. Now my home, classes, and activities are on the top right-hand corner. I can make the color transparent. I can give a black background. There you go, and it gives me a black background or a white background. It changes a little bit dynamic of the page. I want to leave it back to transparent. And you can go to brand images and insert a logo or a banner or anything else that you want for this site. For your businesses, you might have a specific logo, so you can upload it from here. Or if you already have it in your drive, you should be able to select it by clicking select box right here. For sharing it to public, you can always go to custom domains. And you can do startup and use a third-party domain. And for, again, creating a domain, you need to register and fill out a little bit more paperwork for it to go through as a real site or as a public site. You can always buy a domain, and this will give you a lot more options on how much you want it. So per character, a lot of the times, it gives you the price. So Google always wants you to name it uniquely. So, if I do my site, if I search it, there's a lot of search results for my site domain. So, and with this domain, you can do it .com, .or, .care, all this stuff. It tells you what's available for you to buy and what's not available for you to buy. But yeah, so everything here from this point on is involved with money, but you don't necessarily have to spend money for Google's site. I'm just gonna go back to where I was. And right here, just real quick, gonna share with you guys, if I click on preview right here, and the preview button is next to your undo and redo button, preview right here, you can see what it looks like when someone goes into your site. As you can see, I changed a lot of things. And again, remember, I changed my page. I redirected it to a blogger page. It's accessible to me right now, and I can click on it, and it will direct me to the link that I attached previously. And you can see I love making videos. I edited in the text, and it's right here as well. And it changed my options so that I can go into classes without having to click the 3 dotted line on the top left-hand corner. I can now click everything by one click, and here I can go to activities, I can go to math, I can go to art. And I want to go back to seeing it, the preview image by phone or tablet. I can click on the options on the bottom left, right-hand corner. I can click phone and see how my page looks. It's always going to look a little bit different on tablet or phone, but you can always edit how it looks on your phone as well. They're all kind of separate settings. So if you edit your website how it looks on your computer or your PC, it won't change it on how it looks on a phone. Only the themes, let's just say the themes, I changed it into diplomatic, I believe, and it changed, and it kept that change. But still, my options, of the showing the sidebar is not on the top. It's still, I have to click the 3 lines right here. And if I go to tablet, it's going to be a little bit more different. So it's all different, and you can always like edit how it looks by clicking on those previews. Now, if I want to change how it looks on phone, and I close it, and I go back to home. Let me just real quick show you guys. So everything right here is changeable on how you move it. So I don't want it in the center. Let's just say I want it on the right, left-hand side. I can change that. I just dragged it. I just clicked on it and dragged, and you can always delete it right here. So I just want to delete it. And if you don't like this image, you can always change this image by clicking change image, upload, or select an image from your drive already. You can change the header type to be cover, so it makes the image a little bit bigger, or like a banner, which makes the image a little bit shorter, or title only and gets rid of the image completely. Just gonna go back to large banner. And you can always change the remove readability adjustment, so it reverts back to original. But if you have any text over this image, it's recommended to turn this on. And you can choose where you want the image to go. So you can choose it to go right here. You can choose for it to show more of the center, or bottom right, or bottom left. So it depends on how big the image is and where you want it to show. And for specific sections, even in your page, you can edit that as well. So let's just say for this section, I don't like this color. I want to change this color. I go to the left-hand side when I scroll over this page, over this section, and I move my cursor to the left-hand side, I can see this little bit paint image logo, and I click on this, and I can change it to style 1, which brings it to just plain white background, or style 2 brings it back to the same one, style 3 brings it to just standard black image, or I can insert an image, or select an image, or upload an image to go with this section. And I can always duplicate it or trash it, and it's always movable by when you see this sign. I can always move it anywhere I want. So if I want it above this section, I move it above this. If I want it below my page, move it here, so my page is on top. And yeah, and everything is text editable. So let's just say I don't want this written. I will press remove right here, and it gets rid of that section. And I can delete this as well. To add new images, I can click right here, and it will upload an image or select an image. And I want to move this to different sections, I can always do that. I can also change the layout of this page. So let's just say I want to move this specific one to above, and it brings up my goals in big section right here. You can insert that image, and that changes the dynamic of how it looks like underneath. Move this section right here. Just want to make it as aesthetic pleasing as I can. And all of this are pretty much depending on your creativeness. So how you edit it and everything depends on how you want to change and how you want your website to look like. And you want to make sure you always put your contact information at the bottom. So I can do this. More on the controls a little bit. This isn't like Wix where you can edit every single last detail of something. Google site, it is limited on how much you can edit your page and how much you can change. So I do recommend, if you're starting your own business, if you want it to look like as much customizable as possible or customized to your look as possible, I recommend using Wix or Foursquare. Specifically Wix, I think costs a little bit less money to use. So really highly recommend using Wix instead of Google site if you're creating something that you want to customize on every detail. But yeah, because this is a part of Google applications, Google Suite, there's a drive option right here. So if I click on this, it brings me to my Google Drive where I can add in anything I had previously in my drive. So if I had any images or anything like that, I can bring that in. So I have my slide right here. And I have like other pictures that I can bring in to this website. I'm just gonna close this out. And there's this embedded option, which gives you an option to link this through an URL. It also has an option for YouTube or calendar or map or doc slide and all the other Google applications. So let's just say I want to have a video right here in my website. I can click the YouTube link right here and I can search up a video or copy and paste the link right here and search it. It would automatically give me options. So I can search cat videos. And it brings up a lot of like cat videos that if I want like cat videos to put in my portfolio, I can bring that in as well. So let's just say I want to put in this 4-minute video of funny cats, kitten, meowing compilation. I can select it and then I can select it right here. And this brings the video right here. So it's automatically in your website. People can click on this, which will play the YouTube video right here instead of going to YouTube by using another link or directing it to a YouTube page. They can look at the video right here. You can move this cat video again to anywhere you want. So if I want it above my page, I can put it right here. And yeah, so let's just say you made a mistake, you don't want it, you can always delete it right here by clicking on it and then clicking the trash bin right here. Let's say I want to keep this cat video because it's super cute. But I also want a calendar in there. So I can click on calendar, and if you already have categorized calendar, you can bring in like, your calendar or, anything you want. You can click on any of these and options. You can click maps and, put in a location. So North Shore Community College. This is the North Shore Community College address on Denver, so I can select it. And it brings a map option right here as well, so I can show that this is my location of my office or even like my university, whatever you want to put in, you can put in as a map right here as well. So when they actually go into it, if they click on this map, it will bring them to their map application. And let's just say I want to put in docs or slides or forms. You can always click on any of these and choose anything from your docs or your slides, anything right here. So I can put in my tech workshop for building website right here. I can select it and I can insert. And it will bring in my tech workshop Google site. And I want to expand it, make it center. And every time you want to make a change, you want to click preview before you publish anything. To take a look, it's on its right places and it's, working. So as you can see, I can play the cat video right here. I can click the map. I can, move my map around. It's just like having a map application in your website. Or I can like look through my slides, click next button. It gives me option on what my slide looks like, my presentation, bring it all in one page. I can also autoplate it, and you can edit a lot of the other options as well for Google Slide in here. But yeah, pretty simple, and highly recommend playing around Google site to learn a little bit more about what's going on. And because it is a Google application, so any mistake you make, you can always undo. So let's just say I made a mistake on changing how my tech workshop Google slide looks. I can always undo it and it brings me back to my previous change. I can always redo it, which brings me back to the change I made. And yeah, so everything here is automatically saved. You don't have to click any save button. You can close it and come back to Google site, and this change will be all right here. And you can look at the versions that you changed it on. So if you click on all changes saved, you can look at open version history, and you can go back to the specific changes you made for this web page. So if I click on this small arrow right here, I can see what changes I made on specific timing. So it saves your changes in every minute, or every time you make a change, it automatically saves your site. I'm just gonna go back to my home. And right here, we have the option to share this page with others so that they can edit it or take a look at it or comment on it. So if your instructor wants to leave any notes, or you want them to edit a piece of writing in your website, you can always share with them as an editor and click send, and this should give them a notification that you have shared your Google site with them. And this setting box right here, again, brings you to that same setting box on changing your navigation, brand images, viewer tools, custom domains, analytics, and announcements. In terms of analytics, you can turn it on to see and track your crowd for your website, but you don't necessarily have to do that if you're creating something for yourself or like a portfolio or for your friends and family. You don't have to do something like that. But if you are doing businesses, I do recommend looking into Google Analytics and learning more about that and how it works, so that you can use it a little bit better for your Google site. And these three boxes gives me option to, again, look at my version history, make a copy of this whole site. If you want to duplicate it, you can do that. And all the other basic options on help or terms of services and so on. Or you can take a tour. It will show you specific settings for Google site. So if you're confused about something, you can click take a tour and it will give you descriptions of all the toolboxes that you can use for Google site. So it's telling me that this is add content. Next, it's telling me I can move things around. And then it's telling me I can share with other people or I can publish it. So, okay, got it. And that's it. So yeah, if you're using Google site for commercial use, do not use any non-copyrighted images. You can always search copyrighted pictures in Google. There's tons of sites and resources in Google for that. You can search free images and bring in anything from that. But yeah, you just always want to make sure when you're making a website, if it's for a commercial use like your business, you don't want to put in something that other people can sue you for. But yeah, so just always make sure you're using either your own images or free images from Google. And if I want to publish it, I'm finished, done with all the edits. I added some cat images, my maps and my title and everything. I want to publish it. I can click publish right here. And I can create a web address to publish this. I can also just create a custom domain, which gets rid of the sites.google.com. And I can manage who can view my site. I can share with specific people again, or I can make this public by having a domain. And I can request public search engines to not display my site. So a lot of options right here. So yeah, that's Google's site. Please explore more on your own times. There's a lot of things that you can go through for simple edits. This Google site is a little bit smaller version and easier version for creating your own web page. For people who are a little bit more on editing every details of your page, again, recommend Wix or Foursquare if you want to spend a little bit more money on that. They both have option where you can hire another person, hire a creative to build your own website, and you just tell them what to do if you don't want to go for that hassle. But yeah, you have to spend money on that. And to have your own domain, you always kind of have to spend money. I don't think there is any free way to get through that. So even with Google site, if after you're finishing creating your site, you want to get rid of the google.com domain, you have to pay a little bit money for that, or you can go through third party. But yeah, so that's Google site. Feel free to use this for your portfolio, for your resume, for class project, or your personal businesses. And thank you for coming to my workshop. I will have another video on Wix on people that are interested more in depth on the basics of how to create your one web page through Wix.